poison out of the way, because I know you've been going through some very difficult times. The fact that you were jailed in Romania seemed to be a shock to everyone around the world. I know the first time I saw it, I said, what is this? Yeah. So let me just ask you straight out, what was that like? What's it like to be one of the most recognized influencers in the world in one moment? Next thing you know, I see you in handcuffs being walked out. And what was jail like?
So it was a matrix attack from the beginning. I said that when I was being walked into jail. I said it was a matrix attack, and the primary objective of it was to attach heinous allegations to my name so that people talk about the allegations instead of my ideas. I think that in the Western world especially, there is a very serious concern regarding revolution, and they want to try to keep a control on the young masculine men of their populace. And if you have a message which is counter to any of the messages they push, then they have to make people talk about something else other than your ideas. So I was politically attacked. And the idea was to smear me, the wrap-up smear, to smear me as something I wasn't. I wasn't the first person it happened to. Unfortunately, I won't be the last. But I think that mentally, in many ways, I was prepared for it. Although it was very unfortunate, although it was very difficult, I knew that my influence had gotten too large and something was going to happen.
When you were in jail, get me inside your head. Did you cry? Did you feel hopeless?
You know what's
interesting? Were you worried?
Yeah, I was concerned. I was worried, of course, because your life is on the line. But you exist inside of your mind. And it's really, truthfully, and a fantastic chance to test yourself and prove to God and everyone around you and your family and everyone who's on the other end of the phone that you are the man you say you are. You exist inside of your mind. You can be happy because your mind's decided to be. You can be sad because your mind's decided to be. It doesn't matter what's happening to you externally. Truthfully, the secret of the world is the only thing you can control is your state of mind.
But you well know, both of us do, we're both people who've lived in this world long enough to know that we all make mistakes.
Of course.
And process in you at the time where you must have had some regrets about some of the things that you may have done. Did you?
No, because I didn't do anything wrong. I never broke the law. We're 5 or 6 years from that event now, and they haven't even managed to take a case to court. So
and let me just let our audience know, because I think from a journalism standpoint, this is one of the most important things that we can do, to be fair. Andrew has not been found guilty of anything.
I've been tried. They can't even take it to court.
Right. All we're talking about, one day he was arrested and he's sitting here now. So just to be fair. Yeah. And I think that's very important, by the way. And I think it's the least we can do to stay.
Well, this is the basis of democracy as we're supposed to understand it, is innocent until proven guilty. But that's been completely inverted. Because if they can slander you in the media, if they can use NGOs to write endless hit pieces about you, if they can debank you and take your money away, if they can prevent you from traveling, if they can attach heinous allegations to your name, well, now you're guilty until innocent. How are you supposed to prove your innocence when you have no social media platforms, no voice, no money, can't travel, can't move, and you're tied up in years and years of pointless litigation? So innocent until proven guilty is one of the foundations of democracy, which has been completely destroyed, along with all the others inside of many Western countries now. And they knew what they were doing, and they knew that I didn't do anything wrong, and they knew it would all amount to nothing, but they still managed to succeed in putting me all over the news, locking me in jail, freezing all my banks, taking my money, keeping me on house arrest for 4 years, leaving me in jail for 6 months, all these things they did to me without even a trial going to court.
I get your point, and I understand it, and I recognize it, and I would tend to agree with you. Our country, the United States of America, I think you hail from the United States of America as well, right? Our country has turned into a very lawless place. Yep. There is not a single member of Congress, with the exception of maybe Thomas Massie and a handful of others, who are not on the take. They are legally allowed to be bribed. And judges are all bribed in the United States because they take money from big law firms and then they decide cases on behalf of those law firms. So yes, the system, Andrew, is absolutely corrupt. And you make your case is strong in that regard. But before we leave this, I do have to ask you, forget the law, forget whether you're guilty or innocent, and right now you're absolutely innocent because you simply have been charged, which means absolutely nothing. As a guy who's very different from you in lifestyle, I'm a guy who's been married to the same woman for 36 years.
Congratulations.
I've got four beautiful kids.
Congratulations.
I've got a little granddaughter named Serena who I adore. So I have a different lifestyle than you do. Some of the things that I've seen that you've said regarding women seem mean. It just seems like you've said some things. Why would you say things like that? It makes it sound like women don't matter as much as men do when you say those things.
And I think that's a large misconception, because a lot of the things I say, they gender, especially in Western media, when it's not a gendered argument. I spend 99% of my time talking to and about men. I talk about how you should avoid dishonest men. You should avoid men who do not take accountability. You should stand up and you should be a good person, to be honorable to those around you and pay your debts and pay your dues. I talk about men all the time.
Yeah.
The second I say stay away from dishonest women, I'm a misogynist. And this is a simple tactic that the Western media uses, and they deliberately use weaponized virtue to take something I say, gender it, and try and pretend I'm something I'm not. Because if they call me a misogynist, nobody talks about my ideas. They just simply talk about what I'm accused of.